Hello everybody and welcome to a Starcraft 2 Wings of Liberty speedrun. And obviously I'm back. I've finally got second place. If you don't know, I've been grinding out this game for for a few months, like 4 months maybe, and then I sort of stopped and went and got some mod records and some other games. And then I came back and yeah, my skill had clearly improved because I got second place very quickly. I was not able to, because this would have been a world record about 6 months, well, no, only a few months ago now. Obviously, Bloody has sort of gotten world record in every category now, and no one's really beating Bloody. I don't think the guy is kind of insane. But yeah, here we are, second place. I thought I'd do a commentary over it because, you know, Bloody doesn't do commentaries, and there has been like quite a few changes since Probe's run. So yeah, I'm just going to talk about that basically. Obviously, skip over the defense missions. I don't normally commentate over stuff like that. But yeah, just sort of explain the new strategies and what's going on. This time is about just over a minute slower than Bloody, which is fast, definitely fast. But it's not, obviously it's not perfect. I use most of the strategies. Pretty much only one strategy I don't use. And other than that, it's just basically Bloody just doing the missions a little bit faster than I can, because he is very insane and very skilled. But yeah, mission one, not much has changed in mission one for a long time. The way I do it is I ignore, well, most players apart from Bloody now, who's he kills the first two Marines in that mission, and then yeah, kills basically kills every Marine on the way. Normally, what me, Probe and ZPR do is we skip the first two, kill the third guy, and then sort of run through the map as quickly as possible. There's not too much to explain there. Sort of, if you're looking to learn the run, obviously you just look. Yes, it's not too hard to pick up there. Mission two though, obviously Outlaws. This mission is pretty difficult because you can really just get this down to the second. The movement is like really precise, and you know, not even Bloody is that great at this mission. I think at times we're actually equal here, which is, you know, a sign that it's a difficult mission, because if Bloody is at the same pace as me, you know, I'm pretty good at this mission at this point. Yeah, so what you want to do at the start there is you actually want to tell your SCVs to go on the mineral line. It's just a helpful tip, because they move through your Marines, and obviously they're faster than your Marines, so they get there a bit quicker. Again, you can sort of copy what I do. It's a pretty nice strategy overall. This wasn't perfect execution. I did play a little bit safe on the fight before the bunker. You can sort of move, the quicker you move through that section, obviously the more time you save, but there's a greater risk of you losing a Marine. So I played it a little bit safe there. And you can see we don't bring that the Hellion down until we've got everything else in fire. It's kind of important. And yeah, not bad execution. Kept all the SCVs and all of my Marines alive. Got this factory a little bit late. Ends up being a 222. Best I've ever got is a 218, I think. Maybe a 217. But yeah, ZPR actually got an insane time on this. He got a 213, and that's basically just being a little bit more precise and better SCV movement. But yeah, so a solid early game, 208 into 222. Not much to complain about there. Mission 3, of course, is a defense mission, so I'm not actually going to be commentating over this. I'm going to be skipping ahead. Obviously, I just, you know, I use a strategy to. Well, you can follow it again. This is a very easy mission. You can basically just go AFK the first 10 seconds. But yeah, so I'll come back for smash and grab, and we'll be talking about that.
vem eles. Armas preparadas.
A base está sendo atacada.
Para quem estiver ouvindo esta mensagem, nós estamos presos na base fim do mundo. Por favor, ajude!
Aprimoramento concluído.
Várias unidades voadoras detectadas. Tempo estimado de chegada agora.
Mayday! Mayday! Caímos na armadilha dos Zergs! Eles se tocaram em volta da gente! Se estiverem ouvindo, por favor, ajudem!
Aguenta aí, pessoal. A carona está vindo.
Precisamos de auxílio imediato. A hostilidade está em toda parte. Tem alguém aí?
Nossos aliados estão sendo atacados. A base está sendo atacada.
Aguenta só mais um pouco. Vamos sair logo daqui. Comandante, aqui é Matt Horner. Espere aí. A cavalaria está vindo. Tudo bem, Matt. Não tem pressa.
Nossos aliados estão sendo atacados.
Okay, I'm back here. So one of the optimizations that we do that Probe and ZPR didn't do, but sort of bloody just did it because it just makes way more sense. I don't know why we weren't doing it already. He actually just goes ahead and picks up Marine Health right away, a force smash and grab. Because if you don't know, we actually measure this speed run off of in-game time over real time. So it doesn't really matter if you're spending more time in these load screens because only in-game time matters. So picking up the Marine Health actually makes this mission a lot easier to do fast. And yeah, this mission goes decent. I mean, honestly, it is kind of sloppy, but I still get a decent time off of it. I think 10 seconds slower than Bloody, of course, because Bloody is something else. But yeah, so you want to send your Marines, of course, ahead. Not much has changed in the strategy for this mission since Probe getting world record. But yeah, you want to go send your unit straight ahead to attack the second pylon to call in the Marauders and the wave sooner. Obviously, you want to build a Marauder. I think Bloody actually builds an extra Marine here, which is, you know, it would be faster, but I've learned it to do this, and I didn't really change my strategy. The downside to building the Marine is that you're like really, it sort of changes the timing of when you move your command center. So I'm moving the command center here to go and get that research, and then I'll be moving it over to get the research to the right. But yeah, basically building the extra Marine would have screwed up the timing because I would have needed more minerals. So yeah, I just stuck with the strategy. I could have got the time I got the time I wanted without you know, improving this mission much. Again, we've lost a Marine here basically just by being sloppy, but you see we're moving ahead. The thing about those force fields that we just took out, you want to be, you don't want to lose time, so you want to activate those force fields very quickly, which is what we did. That's where we got a decent amount of time saved there. Over Probe, I suppose. Not Bloody. Bloody, obviously, he's done it perfectly because he always does. Yeah, we got a bit unlucky here with the turret attacking our Marauders instead of the SCVs. That doesn't normally happen. And then we get some nice movement there, but we get unlucky here with the medic being in front, and then we actually lose our full energy medic, which is a problem. It normally would be a problem in this fight, but this fight actually doesn't go too bad because most of our Marauders are full health. But again, realistic in a decent run of this, I would be able to get like a sub 320. But this does not go amazingly, so I get 324. It's not a bad time, but again, if you want to see a lot of these missions sort of how they're really meant to be played, go and watch Bloody's run. Obviously, imagine if you're here, you just want to help. You just want to see sort of the commentaries, a few of the tips, things to watch out for. So yeah, sort of what I'm doing here. And again, Bloody. Obviously, this was something Bloody added. You should go and get the stim right now, which speeds up this mission a few seconds. Again, I don't know why we weren't doing that, because if only in-game time matters, why wouldn't you do that? But yeah, that's basically going to help speed up this mission. I don't do this again. This technically I do a different strategy here than Bloody. He has a little bit more micro-intensive strategy by moving an additional Reaper. I sort of go with the strategy that I learned way back when I was actually running this game for like 4 months. But with obviously the addition of the stim pack to get here a few seconds faster. And you can see at 39 seconds you want to move the command center down. I move my first command center down to that mineral field. Make sure you move your CVs out of the way. And yeah, because of the stim pack getting here, you're not actually as pressed on time to get out of that lava. So it makes this first section sort of easier. So you want to, and you can see I've sort of queued up my top command center so that it lands basically right when the lava goes down. It is a little bit difficult to figure out the proper timing for that, but you know, you can do it. Yeah, so we send one Reaper around, obviously grab these minerals. You want to make sure the Reaper's above 25 health, because if it will take a hit from the spine crawler most of the time, and it dies if it's 25 health or under. So again, I go for a little. I do get the 3 minerals here, but a lot of the time you won't get the 3 minerals because of how the Brutalist moves, who'll normally attack your Reaper. But luckily we got it that time. This actually ends up being a really good time for me, a 2:49, which is really solid. So again, another optimization that Bloody came up with is we are up this side, the left side of this Zerg base. Obviously we unlock our the first Reapers that we're supposed to get. I go and collect a few minerals, and yeah, so I grab the minerals up there, and that sort of ends the mission. And basically because we wanted to do this mission like a few seconds faster, we needed additional minerals, so we go to the left side because it has more minerals. But you do need to keep more Reapers alive than normal if you were going to the right side. So yeah, that ended up being about like 6 or 7 seconds faster than what Probe would be able to get without the stim pack. And we get before Belshire, which is normal. We already have both marine upgrades, now we get both medic upgrades. And yeah, Welcome to the Jungle is a really difficult mission. It's always been difficult. Nothing is really going to change because there's a fight that you have that is, honestly, you're not really supposed to be able to beat it with the units that you have. But if you're really good with micro, you are able to pull it off. And timing. So yeah, again, if you don't know this mission at all, you can see these canisters. We cancel the canisters so that the attack waves coming in to repel them. They bug out and they don't come in. So you want to start from the top right, then top left, then bottom left, and then you do the top right and top left one more time. And if you do it in that order, you need to make sure all of them are going before you start doing the technique. Otherwise, it won't work. And yeah, that should work. So on these 3 canisters, you can see I put the bottom right one on first, and about 5 seconds later I put the other 2 on. And that is actually important. This is just sort of the safer strat that I found. I think it's important that you do that because you want these units to come in a certain way. So you can see if I had put the other 2 on sooner, the top 2, these what they call zealots would have came in sooner and probably killed me because I wasn't ready for them. But yeah, just sort of setting it up like that. I lose units to sort of kind of bad micro, but we are able to pull it off there. And you can see you have to make sure that you send your initial 4 SCVs on the left side. You need to make sure you micro them around the enemy base, don't go through it. They will go through it naturally. And I actually stopped the canister from going in a few seconds early to get the research. I don't think I needed to do that, but yeah, that ends up being a 2:29, which is a pretty average time for that mission. It could be faster. Again, Bloody does that 10 seconds faster. But yeah, it's solid. For what I'm going for, it's solid. So we go and we get a research, and again, I'm going to be skipping ahead because we got another. It's not a technically a defense mission because you can end it early, but the first 20 minutes are a defense mission. We go on to brutal because it's actually like 4 or 5 minutes faster on brutal. And yeah, basically at the end of this mission, we're going to be spawn killing the last train, and that's sort of how you make this mission go as fast as possible. And yeah, I'll go ahead and skip ahead to cut through.
Senhor, descobri que alguns veículos confederados nas montanhas da supremacia ainda estão em circulação.
Cascavéis? Minha mãe do céu, eu achei que não fossem passar do estágio de protótipo. Os canhões elétricos vão torrar esses caras. Vou transmitir os diagramas para a rede de fábricas.
Pode ser que existam outros veículos por ali que a gente possa comandar, senhor. Precisamos ficar de olhos abertos.
Qual é o plano? Vamos lá. O quê?
Ah, você me assustou!
O que você tá tramando?
Adicional concluído.
Vamos lá. Excelente.
VCE pronto! Tudo em ordem? Sim! Abre caminho! VCE pronto!
Fique preparado. Sinto o cheiro de vitória. Sem dúvida. O prazer é meu.
Vai, vai, vai!
É bom valer a pena.
Um trem se aproxima por um túnel a noroeste.
VCE pronto! Más notícias?
Quê? Estamos na estrada.
VCE pronto!
Quem quer levar porrada? Vamos lá.
VCE pronto! Diga lá!
Minérios insuficientes.
Fique preparado. Tranquilo. Sem dúvida.
VCE pronto!
O prazer é meu. Sinto o cheiro de vitória. Isso é do mal. Estamos na estrada.
VCE pronto!
Excelente trabalho, senhor. Nós podemos utilizar a sucata do trem para construir mais unidades. Acho que não encontraremos muitos campos naturais de minérios aqui, então aproveite tudo que conseguirmos recuperar dos trens.
Tá bom!
Qual é o plano?
VCE pronto! Trampo grande, hein? Aham!
Adicional concluído.
É bom valer a pena.
Adicional concluído. Um trem está passando pelo túnel oeste.
Tá vendo, Jimmy? A supremacia começou a enviar escoltas para proteger os trens.
Suficientes.
Excelente.
Jazida de minérios esgotada.
O médico está aqui. Você chamou? O médico está aqui. Precisa de uma consulta?
Sem dúvida. O que você tá tramando?
Sigam a tom.
Tô esperando.
Jazida de minérios.
Isso é do mal. Tranquilo. O prazer é meu. Estamos na estrada. Sinto o cheiro de vitória.
Abre caminho! Tá chegando!
Quê? Sem dúvida. Excelente. Isso é do mal. Estamos na estrada.
Comandante, estou captando o maior tráfego de comunicações da supremacia. Parece que eles estão planejando atacar nossa base. Melhor a gente se preparar.
Quem quer levar? O quê? Sinto o cheiro de vitória. Quê?
Trampo grande, hein? Vai, vai!
Minérios insuficientes.
Fique preparado. Tô esperando. Vamos lá. Isso é do mal. O prazer é meu.
Depósitos de suprimentos adicionais. Um trem está passando pelo túnel sul.
Quem quer levar porrada?
Más notícias? Tô indo!
Qual é o plano?
O médico está
Aprimoramento concluído.
O que você tá tramando?
Aprimoramento concluído.
É bom valer a pena.
Jazida de minérios esgotada.
Tranquilo. Isso é do mal.
A supremacia está construindo uma série de casamatas para proteger os trilhos. Tome cuidado.
Minérios insuficientes.
Abre caminho, tá chegando. Fique
Jazida de
preparado.
minérios esgotada.
O prazer é meu. Vamos lá. O que você tá dando? Qual é o plano? Sinto cheiro de
Jazida de
vitória.
Tá a fim de treta, moleque.
minérios insuficientes.
Isso é do mal. Tranquilo. O quê? Tô esperando.
O médico está aqui.
Excelente. Sem dúvida.
Sigam as ordens, galera.
Melhor mandar algum saco.
Um trem está passando pelo túnel oeste. Minérios insuficientes. Minérios insuficientes.
Tá bom. O que você tá tramando? Tô esperando. Sem dúvida. Isso é do mal. Fique preparado. Qual é o plano? Estamos na estrada.
Armado e pronto.
Jazida de minérios esgotada.
Excelente.
Jazida de minérios esgotada. Minérios insuficientes.
Sem dúvida.
Tô precisando de uma ajudinha aqui.
Jazida de minérios esgotada.
O prazer é meu. Hein?
Tá a fim de treta, moleque.
Você me assustou. Não dá pra construir aí.
Vai! Armado e...
Nossos
Abre
VCs
caminho,
estão
tá
sendo
chegando.
atacados.
Isso é do mal. Qual é o plano?
Sigam as ordens.
Fique me tira daqui! Sinto o cheiro de mim. Vamos lá. Quê? Tô esperando. Qual é o plano? Isso é do mal.
Um trem se aproxima por um túnel a noroeste.
Estamos na estrada.
Já estava esperando. Você vai me dar ordens?
O que...
Armado e... É bom valer a pena. Sigam a ação.
Fique preparado. O prazer é meu.
Quem quer levar por... É bom
Me tira
valer a
daqui!
pena. Sem dúvida. Já estava esperando. Armado e pronto. Sigam as ordens, galera. Afirmativo. Com certeza. Sensacional.
Minérios insuficientes.
É bom valer a pena.
Hein?
Sigam as ordens. Quem quer levar porrada? Vai! Já
Senhor? Estou detectando equipes assassinas da supremacia patrulhando os trilhos com grandes grupos de demolidores.
Quem é bom valer a pena? Você vai me...
Vou marcar a localização deles com um símbolo vermelho de advertência. É melhor evitá-los.
Caminho, tá chegando.
Minérios insuficientes.
Armado e pronto. Treta, moleque.
Minérios insuficientes.
Quem quer levar?
Um trem está passando pelo túnel oeste.
A supremacia está conseguindo aumentar a velocidade dos trens. Você precisa usar cascavéis para alcançá-los.
Treta, moleque. Tá tudo certo. Você vai me dar ordens? Sigam as ordens, galera. Já vão valer a pena. Armado, quem quer levar porrada? Abre caminho, tá chegando. Tô ligado.
Minérios insuficientes.
Você vai me dar ordens?
O que tá pegando? Dois.
Sigam as armas. Vai! É bom valer a pena. Quem quer levar porrada? Já estava esperando. Quem quer levar porrada? Abre caminho, tá chegando. Não vejo a hora. É bom valer a pena. Tá a fim de treta, moleque? Abre caminho, tá chegando. Sensacional.
Jazida de minérios esgotada. Minérios insuficientes.
É bom valer a pena. Vai!
Tudo em ordem.
Quem quer levar porrada? Você vai me dar ordens?
Um trem se aproxima por um túnel a noroeste. Jazida de minérios esgotada.
Armado e pronto. Abre caminho.
Depósitos de suprimentos a jazida de minérios esgotada.
Sigam as ordens, galera. Já estava esperando.
Jazida de minérios esgotada.
Armado é bom valer a pena. Quem quer levar porrada? Essa moleque.
Minérios insuficientes.
Você vai me dar ordens?
Você...
É bom valer a pena. Vai! Não vejo a hora. Já estava esperando. Abre caminho, tá chegando.
Depósitos de suprimentos adicionais são necessários.
Tudo em ordem. O que tá pegando?
Depósitos de suprimentos adicionais. Minérios insuficientes.
Com certeza.
Trampo grande.
Sigam as ordens, galera.
Depósitos de suprimentos adicionais são necessários.
Hein?
Você vai me dar ordens?
Diga lá.
Quem quer levar porrada?
Mas...
Sigam as ordens, galera. Segura a onda aí. Não posso esperar. Beleza. Vai, tá chegando. Sigam as ordens, tá? Armado e pronto.
Nossos BCEs estão sendo atacados.
Você vai me dar ordens?
Um trem está passando pelo túnel oeste.
Parece que a supremacia esgotou o aditivo que estava alimentando os
Alright, so we're back. We just sniped the train. 1959 there. Solid time. Again, Blood got 1958. I think it's because he kept his Diamondbacks alive and they shot at the back. Because they have longer range than the Marines and just managed to save an extra second there, I think. So we're going to go and buy Reaper upgrades and we're heading cutthroat here. So this is actually where the new strategies came in, and when I say new, Bloody already used them. Probe, ZPR didn't use them. These were a thing like right after, or not right after, but soon after they got their times. So we're sending a Marine. This first bit is kind of a lot of micro. You want to make sure on your initial barracks you start the reactor, or not the reactor, the tech lab as quickly as you can, basically as soon as it comes down, because that is what you're going to be waiting on. And you can see we're building an additional 6 barracks because we want to get up to 9 Reapers really quickly. And we're going to be sending the factory into the enemy base, and you'll see why we're doing that in a minute. But yeah, you want to get the reactor on that first barracks quickly, because that barracks is actually going to be building 3 Reapers. The rest of them are only going to be building 1, and you're normally waiting on that first barracks. Yeah, so not bad execution for that start, and the rest of this mission is actually very easy. So we're sending the factory into the base just to get a vision of the command center. And obviously you want to make sure that you get all these barracks, what they call reactors, no, tech labs. I've done that 3 times now. You want to get the tech labs as quickly as you can, of course, and then we're just going to get these final minerals at the top here. And you can see we've queued all our Reapers now, and that's when our Vulture bikes, right? Yeah, Vulture bikes. So they come in and we collect 2 of the last 2 research with them, and while we're doing that, we're just going to get these units out of the way with our Marines and SCVs. And yeah, last research come in, and you can see we're still waiting on the first barracks to get that 3rd Reaper out. And we've got 9, we're going to group them up, and you're going to send them into the base. And this is why you wanted the this is why you wanted the Reaper upgrades. You use the mines, you queue the command center. Obviously you wanted vision of it first, so you could queue all it up. And yeah, that is over a minute faster than the strategy that Probe and ZPR be using, because they actually got Mirahan's forces first. So yeah, it's a lot easier strategy too. We just didn't really use Reapers until this point. Yeah, until we came up with this and we started using Reapers. So we get the research just because we finished the mission in the research lab, so you might as well pick up the research. And Gross of a Chance, honestly, is one of the best speedrun missions in this entire game, honestly. Me and Buddy, a while back, back when I was first playing the game, we actually we were sort of competing against each other to improve this time, and we actually there was loads of tiny optimizations that you can do with this mission, and honestly, the riskier you want to play it, the more time you can potentially save. I'm talking like literal seconds, you know, saving snipes, just walking past units and stuff like that. It's a really good mission. You can see we distract the units with our Marines while Nova moves ahead. Capture the Raven. I don't know why Probe and ZPR weren't really doing this strategy by just capturing the Raven, but they were doing faster. So yeah, for safety, I use one of the turrets in the bottom with the Marauders to delay them while I send one of them up. Bloody actually sends both of his turrets up to the base here. And yeah, that wasn't a bad time, I think 111. So we captured this Raven here, section 2. And you can actually, I figured out the other day that you can actually beat this section on normal difficulty with the with just a Raven. You can just send a Raven straight to the base. It is slower than the actual strategy though, because Reapers just move very quickly. So you want to make sure that your Raven dies, your first Raven, because otherwise you won't get your new units. So I sort of play it safe here. I don't move the Reapers in straight away because they often get hit with the tank. And I get a little bit unlucky at the start, so you want to send your Reapers straight ahead, which captures the tank. Unfortunately here, we do get the objective, but I get the dialogue that plays when all your Reapers die, so you get more Reapers, and that loses about 4 or 5 seconds. But yeah, not too bad. Again, this is like 30 seconds faster than Probe and ZPR because of the new strategy, particularly with the Reapers again. Section 2, obviously we save a lot of time because of the new Reaper strategy. And here, Section 3 is technically slower than Probe and ZPR's time because we don't have the nuke on this section, which we would like they did. We actually just use the Banshees here, but again we save like 30 seconds overall. It ends up being a 3:05, which is a little bit slow. But again, for a run, that's fine. It's definitely fine for me for what I'm going for here. So yeah, honestly, a really good speedrun mission. I would recommend playing that even if you're not looking to run the whole game, because there's, again, if you're playing this at the highest level, there is more defense missions than not defense missions. So I don't go for both Marauder upgrades here. I only go for the one that slows enemies. I don't think I have enough money. I know Bloody gets a few more credits from in Ghost of a Chance mission by killing a few of the extra enemy units, but I do not get that because I cannot get it consistently. So I just don't get the Marauder health, which doesn't really matter too much. So here you want to send a Marine ahead to start the siege tank cutscene. And again, the dig, another really great speedrun mission actually. So again, we're sending another Marine ahead here, so that as soon as that power goes down, you want to charge your Marine ahead. And there's nothing that's changed, there's no new strategy to the dig. Well, I actually do this mission about 25 seconds faster than Bloody. This is pretty much the only, well, not the only, but the one main mission where Bloody just doesn't do it as fast because it is a really difficult mission. And if you don't know, you can actually, it's not just a defense mission, you can actually speed this mission up by destroying the entire Protoss base. And that is what we're going to do in 12 minutes and 46 seconds, I believe. Which is a solid time for this mission. Again, 25 seconds faster. Bloody, about on par with ZPR and Probe. And yeah, not too much to say for this early section. You can copy my strategy. I go for a 4 barracks strategy, whereas I think the other 3 players actually go for a 5 barracks strategy. But I've always learned with 4, and I don't have many problems with it. It probably is fast with a 5 because you get Marines out slightly quicker. But I've just I didn't start learning a 5 strategy, but I just went after I got all these times. Like this was a really solid run so far, so I just decided to go back to what I knew, and I managed to pull off a decent dig time. And yeah, after sort of Whispers of Doom, maybe even a dig, you know, it's pretty much like guaranteed. Well, not guaranteed, but the second half of this run is not as difficult as the first half, at least in my opinion. The second half of this run is actually very formulaic most of the time. So I knew at this point if I could just pull off the dig, then I had this run. So you want to get the attack upgrades around 245-ish is when you'll get it, and then about 310 is when I start putting SCVs on the gas geyser to start farming gas. Again, you don't need to copy my strategies exactly. I think every player does this slightly differently, but this is sort of what I do and it works for me. So yeah, I started building the first barracks here, getting another one up here. And again, it's very nice how you can sort of go around with the map, clearing out the waves and clearing out the defences around the bonus objectives. And it sort of all lines up around the 6-minute mark when you're ready to attack the enemy base, and there's nothing you have to defend for a long time. And you can sort of clear out the first enemy base and then come around for the second, and there won't even be an attack wave if you're fast enough. It won't even have spawned yet. So here we got up to 4 barracks here. Again, we use the factories to build one of the reactors, and this is again, this is what Probe said in his run to do. You go up to 13 SCVs, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I found that to be the correct number. 13 seems to work very well. I actually built 4, technically 26 for the gas geyser, but I actually built another one on my bottom base. I've started doing this because I want a SCV out to build supply depots and basically stand around the bonus objectives so that when I do take them out, there's just an SCV there ready to collect the bonus objectives. There's a lot of stuff you have to worry about in this game. Again, honestly, probably the hardest mission in the campaign, just because it's literally it's a proper like Starcraft 2 Protoss game. Not Protoss, sorry, like micro and macro. It's how Starcraft 2 is supposed to be played. You can't just cheese it, and obviously that makes it very difficult. So here, obviously, we set up a bunker here. You want to make sure that both of your SCVs are right next to that bunker, and I press hold position. I have problems here where the SCVs, for some reason, just aren't close enough. Even though I click on the bunker and press hold position, they aren't close enough. that can end up just throwing the game by them just dying, which is quite annoying. But try not to have the tanks shoot the zealots, because they can obviously hit the slasher bunker. And I got very close to actually losing a tank there, which doesn't normally happen. So when you get this cutscene, obviously you get the drill. I go for the Archon straight away, and you can see my tanks are in range to hit 2 of the turrets. So that's exactly what to do. And then we do want to take out that pylon. And once you've taken out the second, what's it called, Colossus, that is when you can actually start moving in. So we go for the second 2 Archons, you can't forget them, and then that's when I start going in. So sell the bunker, and then we're gonna start taking out more stuff out with the drill here. Obviously stim in, and you want to make sure, obviously we've farmed up some gas for our medics. And you sort of want to make sure for at least like the first half of this base that you're still building medics as well. The Colossi comes in again here. I try and cut back and just destroy it with my drill, but I don't think the drill targets. The drill here is a real problem. Like it honestly doesn't target like half the time you tell it to. But my drill usage is pretty decent here, I think. So you can see we're focusing on the bigger buildings, because it takes a long time to focus. The drill takes a long time to focus, so you want to take it to bigger buildings because they obviously have more health. Just I found that to be better. I try and keep this war factory alive so I can set it down to the second base. For when we attack the second base, we can actually use it, but it does end up going down to enemy units here. And you can see we've already taken out one of the bonus objectives with the drill. I think it was a pretty nice time to use the drill to take out some of the bonus objectives right after you sort of cleared the first section of that base. There's not much to use the drill on for like a good 20 seconds. Because your units are just sort of moving around and killing a couple of pylons. So another Colossi here. I do lose a few units here to that Colossi. Could be microing these a bit better by moving the wounded ones back to the medics. But again, we've got 2 of the bonus objectives down, and now we're going to take out a few more buildings. Again, pretty decent drill usage overall, and I'm going to start using my SCV to take some of these bonus objectives. Because they can, it's difficult to obviously remember to get the bonus objectives and win the mission, so I'd like to do it sooner rather than later. So there's a few more Marines to the Colossus. It's definitely messy, but it is pretty fast. And then go for the third bonus objective before we go to this second base, because we need the drill again for the second base, definitely. And yeah, you want the bonus objective down before that. So pretty good supply depot management as well. And you can see we're moving our SCVs down the railway. Before we finish clearing this base, you want the SCVs in position. That's the final bonus objective ready to go. I couldn't find my where my SCV went. It's actually on the way though. So yeah, we don't have the war factory, so it's a bit dangerous, this ramp. But obviously the SCVs are going to provide vision. Try not to lose much to the Colossus. This is actually a pretty good ramp, I believe. And again, we focus down both Colossus with our drill. And yeah, pretty solid ramp. We do lose again like a decent chunk of units, but it wasn't horrible, and it was pretty fast. So yeah, drill to focus down the large targets, and we're moving right in. Our SCV is just waiting right next to the bonus objective. I'm sure we'll get that in a moment. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so overall, I really like a solid jig. Not too much to complain about. It could have been faster, of course. Again, this is the mission that has like a lot of time saved still. Again, another like 20 seconds, but by a really good play, another 20 seconds could be taken off here in a run. If bloody practice, I'm sure we could get a better time than this. And yeah, I'm happy at this point. Okay, oh yeah, I'm really happy at this point because that is basically most of the really difficult missions out of the way. And yeah, again, Blisters of Doom is another pretty difficult one, but the most difficult ones are done now. We're moving into Blisters of Doom, and this again, protest missions. Overall, not too hard. They go pretty well for me. So what you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure you get a vision of that top island there. quickly. If you don't get it quick enough, you'll get locked behind dialogue. You won't be able to blink. You won't unlock blink for like 30 seconds, and that actually messes up your time here. But actually, in this first section, if you don't mess up the blink through the wall there, you're not going to lose any time. You always have to wait until about 1 minute 39 until you get off of this area, whether it's called the temple, because you're locked behind a ton of dialogue. This is actually why, if you don't know, this is why we're playing on Portuguese, the language, because it's the fastest language. It gets through, particularly in these Protoss missions, it speeds it up by a lot. So that's why we're playing in Portuguese. And yeah, so section 2 of this obviously is going to be a bit more difficult now. It doesn't go amazingly because I do lose a what's it called, a stalker. It kind of just bad luck. You'll see that in a moment. So obviously you blink straight off of that temple, you blink again, the dialogue cuts off, which is quite rare in Wings of Liberty actually for the dialogue to cut off. And you can see the stalkers spawn in here, and you have 3 mutalisks that you have to take out. It's third. I don't see. I attack one of the stalkers. I think actually, do I attack the? I actually attacked one of them that I wasn't supposed to attack because it was. I want to get these low, but I don't want to kill them. Yeah, so you can see another one is spawning in now because I didn't have all 4 alive, and that actually means that stalker is not going to die in time, which means when I lock that and blink, I don't get 4 stalkers here. I only get 3. Luckily though, I do get some good RNG here, and there is RNG in this fight as well. So you normally have to fight 2 mutalisks and an overlord, and the overlord and the overseer and the mutalisks sort of spawn in at random positions. But we actually got the RNG where one of the mutalisks comes in and then just sort of flies away without noticing your stalkers. So we actually only lost about 2 seconds there to only have 3 stalkers. So you can see a very difficult blink. I recommend if you're trying to do this, if you're trying to speedrun this game, I recommend that you blink to the exact position that I did. That blinked right to the temple. Well, the reason we do that is actually to skip the dialogue of revealing the hatchery. You skip the dialogue, but it's a tough blink, so make sure you blink to the right position. I found that position to be very consistent. But yeah, another sort of optimization from Bloody here though is yeah, we actually blink over that wall instead of going around the rocks. And that basically gets Zeratul up here faster, as well as our Stalker up here a bit faster as well. So that we actually clear this entire army before the dialogue finishes. There's a lot of dialogue, and again in Probe and ZPR's run, you're still locked behind dialogue, but you're not able to clear everything out. You're able to clear most of it. But here we cleared pretty much everything, so that was a nice little optimization. I'll make a little bit of a mistake here. I blink my stalkers when I'm trying to blink Zeratul. Yeah, Zeratul loses out some damage there, so you need to kill one of the spine crawlers plus the first spore, which spawns the Nidus worm, and the second Nidus worm comes out after that. And then Zeratul goes straight for the spine crawler. To spawn these mutalisks, you need to kill a spine crawler plus all of the Nidus worms. And everything went down about the same time. Not bad time. 5:49 isn't terrible. It could have been a bit faster, but it's not bad. So you blink immediately here. And yeah, so again, I think Bloody has a little bit of optimization for this section, but I don't go for that. But this is still fine. So blink over. And you wait, like your stalkers, so they get vision because they're a little bit closer. And then, yeah, 6:26, not a bad time. I do actually lose about 17 seconds on Bloody though. It's one of the more, you know, time losses, the bigger time losses of the run. Just because I think Bloody's sort of a Protoss player as well, so he would be good at this sort of missions. But yeah, so a sinister turn. Another one where Bloody is just sort of he's optimized it a little bit to where there is a few seconds of time save. It's not massive or anything. It's not like a new strategy, but it is an optimization, and it's made in the final fight basically. So there's a little bit of a slow beginning here. You obviously want to get a pylon to start the production of a zealot here, and then I'll pile it up to the objective in the top right, the bonus objective, because that actually spawns in the Dark Templar. And a pile in the bottom left, which spawns in an Immortal, which you're also going to want. So you want to move. You just want to queue up a Dark Templar. You can queue up the Dark Templar right before these Dark Templar come in. Unfortunately, I missed an auto attack here on this Stalker, which actually does matter. Because you want to clear these units as quickly as possible, and you want to make sure that you clear the units that I'm clearing if you're trying to repeat this. We get lucky there, we actually trapped the Blizzard Zealot, which saves some time. So we cleared those 4 units, and that is actually because the way this works is the ramp that actually comes up in this next section. It comes in when the enemy have built a certain amount of units. I think when you've got a certain amount of units as well. So the faster you kill the enemy units, the faster they rebuild them, the faster this ramp activates. It also does seem to be a bit of luck, is what we've sort of came to realise. It's sort of luck based as well, but I can get sort of consistent by destroying those units very quickly. So here comes the optimization, and we actually get a 223 cutscene here, which isn't bad. 220 is sort of the one a pretty solid one for me. I think Bloody gets a 218 from, you know, just being really fast. So what we'd actually do here is we send our Zealot and probes onto a unit. Because they're attacking units, or the enemy focuses them. We send our Immortal through with a Dark Templar. We get 3 Immortal shots off, which isn't bad. I think Bloody gets more, of course. But yeah, so I send 1 Dark Templar on each objective. And sort of what I do here is I send 1 attack on the bottom there, and then 1 attack on the top, and they sort of go down at the same time. Ends up being a 317, which is a solid time again. With the optimization that I didn't have, it's not bad. Not a bad mission there. And we're going to go in for the 3rd Protoss mission. Now obviously this is a normal any percent run, so we're not going to be doing every mission if you haven't picked that up already. But we do the Protoss missions because you obviously need a certain amount of missions to beat the game, and the Protoss missions have a lot of research that you want. So we start this off by missing a blink here. Doesn't actually matter because this first section you can't save time because you're stuck behind this dialogue. Anyway, yeah, again, this is another mission we basically just cheese, and this is basically from here on out we're cheesing pretty much every mission. It is really a lot of just sort of sneaking units behind enemy lines and killing the main objective. So yeah, not a difficult mission at all here. So we go straight up to the first Overmind Tendril, and you want to split up your Colossi and probes, because we just want to be basically getting the 2 bonus objectives in the mission. All we're going to be doing here is telling Zeratul to blink around the 4 objectives. There's not too much to it. There's a difficult blink coming up. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Not really, no. I mean, I'll talk a little bit more at the end of the run. Yes, I blink immediately there. And yeah, so there is a little bit of an RTA time save that you can do here. RTA, I mean, you know, real time, not in-game time. You actually you get the bonus objective at the right time, and then you get the dialogue, and it basically skips the dialogue of the final tendril, and ends up saving you, you know, a few seconds. But again, it's not in-game time, so it doesn't actually matter. We don't manage to get it here. I don't really know the timing too well, to be honest. But again, I think Bloody actually goes for a very risky blink here, where he sort of blinks basically further left than I do. He blinks down that ramp You can see here. But I just went straight across. I lose maybe 2 seconds to it. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I'm not risking sort of blinks if I don't have to. If I don't have tiny time saves. Yeah, so practice missions are done. We're moving on to Mobius Factor. I think from here on out there are basically no more time saves. Again, the main time saves were in the Cutthroat and of course Ghost of a Chance with the Reaper strategies. So no more time saves on Probe. There is obviously one strategy that Bloody uses that I don't use in the second to last mission. And we'll talk about that when we get there. But basically I just don't do the strategy because it's very difficult. It's like very difficult. But yeah, Mobius Factor. So another mission that you sort of every player gets a 308 in this mission. Because that is sort of the cap. You're stuck behind dialogue. So I end up getting a 313 I think on this, and one of those reasons is because I think I lose 3 seconds for just absolutely no reason. For some reason a dialogue doesn't play until like 3 seconds after. I don't know why this happens, but I get the trigger to activate the dialogue and it just doesn't play. It was kind of weird to me when I saw it. But another reason why the other 2 seconds that I lose is actually because if you can see when these little obviously the pictures the dialogue comes up, I turn dialogue and other players turn dialogue animations off. I keep them on, and this actually does affect the time a little bit in like a couple of missions by a couple of seconds. But I found that I couldn't do Ghost of a Chance properly without the dialogue being the animation being on. I don't know why that's the case, but it just is. I don't know why that didn't happen with Bloody or who obviously does the same strategies, but yeah, it didn't seem to work for me, so I keep the dialogue on. It does end up losing like 3 or 4 seconds throughout the run in a couple of different cases. One of them being here, but honestly it's not a huge deal. Obviously it allows me to actually do Ghost of a Chance the way I want to, so. And you can see I reveal the Brutalist here, and then I get it like 3 seconds later, but I should get that dialogue immediately after the other dialogue, so that was really weird to me. But you can see the dialogue after the Brutalist will be the second data core being destroyed. Yeah, and obviously we got that in time. Sometimes I don't get that in time, but I did here. Especially, with the Brutalist dialogue being delayed. And then you very just easily get this third data core, and that's basically it. You just sort of wait for the dialogue to finish now. And all of the times when the mission officially ends is different in this campaign. I don't know why, but in this level, the time will basically stop a second before it says on the screen. So well, I got 3. It said I got a 314 there. It would be actually a 313. Because Mobius Factor is just like that. And again, that's different for every mission. I don't know why. The timers just stop at random points. So moving on to Supernova here. Another mission where you sort of just walk over to the objectives. And yeah, again, these are risky missions in that you can lose them very easily, but if you have the missions down and you've practiced them 100 times in my case, it's pretty difficult to lose these missions at this point, which is why I think the first half of this campaign is just harder, because there's a lot more macro obviously in the dig. There's a lot more that can go wrong. Where in these missions it's just like, okay, you're just going to take this path, you're going to destroy the last objective, and that's it really. Yeah, so, which is why, yeah. On the bright side, obviously, at least in my case, if I get past the first half of the campaign, I know that I've got a good chance of PBing. So again, if you're trying to replicate this, just sort of follow the same route that I take with the Banshees. I think Bloody, to sort of maximise his time, he actually gets all of the Banshees to follow the front Banshee, and actually makes it so the Banshees move in a straight line It's a lot safer. He also, I didn't actually mention, he has a little bit of time save in the beginning section where he instead of going around the turrets and then attacking the pylon, he actually just goes straight on the turrets, takes some damage from the turret, the cannons, and that ends up saving out 3 seconds overall. Even though you're stuck behind dialogue, it still managed to save 3 seconds for some reason. But I don't do that because it's just risky, and it's only a little bit of time save, so I don't bother with it. And yeah, if you lose a Banshee, obviously it's quite a big time save on destroying that objective. So here, obviously, we're going ahead, collecting the last research here. Still mule strategy. Nothing here has changed, you know, a long time really. Other than that little strategy that Bloody uses to speed it up by a little bit. Moving on to more of the Void. I do start to, in my between missions, I do start to slow down a little bit in these last missions because I'm just trying to like make sure that I've got everything. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna PB at this point. So yeah, I pick up the Ghost Cloak and I'm just thinking, it's like, okay, I need drop pods. So you need drop pods here and the SCVs. The double SCVs, very important. Don't need anything Berserk research, so we're just gonna keep moving ahead. And more of the Void here. So another mission that was going to cheese with Ghosts. Ghosts are a good unit. Ghost Nuke. Obviously now we got infinite cloak energy, we can just... Well, you'll see in a moment, so what you want to do here is you want to go right ahead and IQ, so... You can see IQ certain stalkers with certain, what they call battle cruisers, so that the battle cruisers don't have to turn around or anything after they've shot their Yamato cannons. A little bit slow on the reactor build there, or the tech lab. So we kick up these last resources there. Second nuke silo. Got a bit unlucky with the SCVs being far away after, but there's obviously there's a bit of luck in this mission where the SCVs finish building. Again, kind of unlucky that only one of them was on the right side. End up getting a 224, which isn't bad at all. This mission again is quite precise. You'll get a very consistent time on this mission. I think Bloody, just by basically being a little more consistent and actually sending in an additional Marauder to help do damage, saves a few extra seconds there. I found that when I tried to send in a Marauder, there was a chance that the enemy mothership would use its wormhole on your ghosts, which is a big problem, so I just didn't bother doing that in a run because I'm not risking saving like an additional second just to lose the run. Just doesn't seem worth it to me. And again, once you get, I always get it down to 501 health, the shield health. You get your second ghost, you attack it once to stop the shield from regenerating, and you send in a second nuke. And each nuke does 500 damage, so you can see that the nuke is going to come in a second and finish the game. There you go. And again, yeah, we just completely cheesed it. Not too bad. So moving in, we're moving to Char now. We've got all the upgrades that we need. We're just going to move into Char. First 2 missions of Char actually don't go as well as my other one, which I got a few days ago. Which obviously I made mistakes in several missions. It actually wasn't a great time, despite managing to be second place by 2 seconds, which is I did not expect when I finished the run to be second place at all. But yeah, so this mission actually is I like this mission. This is a fun mission. Honestly, the first 2 Char missions are pretty fun. I'm pretty good at them, I'd say. Even though nothing has really changed, I do these faster than Probe and ZPR, so I'm pretty good at them. A bit risky here. I almost those a Marine, so those openings, but the Marine does end up going down anyway, which is unfortunate because you do need to keep everything alive, or you want to keep everything alive in this mission. We end up losing about 3 Marines, which is kind of unfortunate, and that ends up making this mission a tiny bit slow. So you can see we're going up to 3 barracks. We'll keep SCVs building at all times. We're building 12 medics, which is important because basically medics give a 2 supply while Marines give 1, and we want to get the 100 army cap as quickly as possible. That's why we're also building SCVs. So we're going around the map collecting minerals. making sure we keep building. You want to obviously use the mule here, and yeah, it's obviously the first minute is quite there's quite a lot to do, but after that it slows down a bit in terms of the final section. And yeah, basically we're using drop pods here again to cheese. Instead of fighting our way through a massive Zerg force to get to the Nidus worms, we're just sort of spawning right next to them and killing them like that. So careful on the swine crawler, of course. We've lost one marine so far, but that's not a huge deal. So we get this last mineral, and then we get... Once we've got 6 marines up here, this is when I like to go in. And we get a little bit unlucky here with the Hydralisks targeting one marine, both of them target on one marine. End up losing 2 marines there, which is really unfortunate. Again, we don't want that to happen at all. But we do manage to clear out... Oh, very, very close there. We do manage to clear out all of this Zerg army. So you can see our initial force, we actually stood them next to a drop pod that was coming in, so we can collect some army and get some army supply. We end up losing about 6 or 7 seconds there, and ideally, if you had all your marines alive, you wouldn't lose any time. As soon as that new army supply came in, the drop pods, you would immediately get the Nidus ones spawn in. But we actually lost 6 or 7 seconds just because we ended up losing marines, and that sort of cost us a little bit of time. So and I think not having those additional 2 marines are actually slowed down the Nidus one killing by a little bit, which I think there is luck in when those Nidus ones spawn in enemy units. I think it is kind of random when they want to spawn it, if they spawn it straight away or they spawn it like 10 seconds later or whatever. So we got a bit unlucky there as well. And then it ended up being a 349. It's about 5 seconds after you destroy the last Nidus one. It's 349. It could have been 10 seconds faster. And again, it's not a horrible time. So moving into the last mission that we're commentating over, obviously, All In is another defense mission, a long one, and yeah, we're finishing the run here. But here's another fun mission, I say. Again, Char's pretty cool to play. There's a lot to do here, and it is, if you're like a new player, this will be one of the most difficult missions that you'll play for quite a while. If you're using the strategy, again, I found the bloody strategy to be harder. But it saves about 25 seconds, 25 to 30 seconds, so it's worth using, but I couldn't do it in all the attempts I tried. The problem I had was you need to spawn a Reapers and then use the bomb and also attack the objective straight away. The problem I had was, because they came in from drop pods, I just wasn't lining up the Reapers. Like, I wasn't selecting the Reapers fast enough, and they would end up dying before I could use them properly. And that just, yeah, I wasn't able to use that strategy in a run. I think I only ever got it once to work. But yeah, obviously this strategy is still another hard one if you're not really good at it like I am at this point. I practiced this mission to death, and yeah, it's like clockwork really. So Ghost comes in here, obviously. The bottom right objective, you want 2 marines there. Make sure you target the objective immediately, otherwise you'll call in Hydralisks to come and defend it. So I have the timings down here. I end up sending, believe it or not, I actually ended up sending this battle cruiser in a little bit late. You could do it a couple seconds quicker, and honestly it'd be more beneficial, because if the battle cruiser uses his Yamato cannon on the objective, the enemies will sort of come in. He'll get hit by the nuke and take a lot of damage, but the enemies will come in or fly in at the same time, and they'll all die because you've caught them in with the Yamato cannon, and then he'll just be there freely attacking the objective. You can sort of get like around 223, maybe 222 time, but still a 225, 5 seconds faster than Probe. It's nice. And I'm just saying that Shadowrun, that's 2. I've only run this game twice since I've been back. I practiced like a lot. I've been practicing sort of all week. But I've only actually done 2 runs of this game since I've been back, and both runs I have got a PB. Obviously, the first run I got 2nd place. This run I just got basically my gold time in the first run, which is crazy, honestly. If you know that's like, you know, Probe, Because I know Probe was, he was practicing, he was grinding the hell out of Wings of Liberty to get his world record time. He was doing tons of runs. Yeah, if you told that to Probe, he'd be, well, he'd be quite upset probably. But again, you have to remember that even though this is over a minute faster than second place, I do use new strategies. And I did sort of try and work it out whether this run would actually be faster than Probe's run if I was using the same strategies he was. And I believe this run is actually like very close. It's actually like pretty much tied with Probe. Is basically very similar, I believe. Which is awesome to think that I could actually compete with that time, you know, Probe and ZPR. Without the new strategies, but yeah, really nice run overall. I'm really surprised by how well I'd actually done in this run. It was, I guess, kind of lucky and kind of just my skill has improved, you know, a lot since I was playing Wings of Liberty initially. And I said I wouldn't commentate over this, but I guess I'm going to commentate over the first couple of minutes because there are a few more things I'd like to say. And if you want to watch, obviously, the rest of the audio, you can. Obviously nothing stopping you, but I'm probably going to leave in a moment. So what else did I want to say here? So so I talked about the time saver, the bloody Probe ZPR. Probe and ZPR were both running the same strategies when they were playing. Bloody's obviously came up with his new ones. He's a very good player at this game, and there's no way I'm beating any of his records at this point. But yeah, so sub 1:34:30 was my goal, and this ended up being a 1:34:20. So yeah, that's good. I'm definitely moving on from this game at this point, which is why I'm doing the commentary. So I don't intend coming back to this campaign again. And future plans. I am going to be looking at the Harvest Swarm campaign. I have looked at it recently, and it does seem kind of interesting, although there's a lot of, particularly like in the early game, there's a lot of time wasting, but I think there are some neat missions in there. I might give it a go. Secure a nice second place. I know second place won't be as difficult because it's Bloody and then it's actually Grant. Grant's time on Hot the Swarm is a little bit better, but I think it's a little bit better than his Wings of Liberty time is if you're comparing them sort of a skill level. But I still think I'll be able to take second place, and then maybe I'll look at the other speedruns as well. Who knows? But yeah, that's sort of my plan. Probably looking at Heart of the Swarm. I don't know when I'm going to be going back to other games or what I'm doing. But yeah, and obviously, again, thank you for watching. This is the first run that I started. This is the first one that I played. The first speedrunning game that I played. I know I sort of went off and played some other games. So it's just really nice to finally, even though I never actually got the world record in this game, which if I got this time 6 months ago, then it would definitely be world record. But even though I never got world record, I achieved my goal time. I beat Probe, I beat ZPR, which is amazing. Never thought I'd be capable of that. So yeah, if you enjoyed the commentary or enjoyed watching the run or whatever, I know my commentary is not amazing, but I feel like I have gotten better over the few commentary videos that I made. So if you enjoyed any of that, please make sure to like and subscribe. And of course, comment, tell me what you thought. All that YouTube stuff. It is nice to see. Obviously, I'm not trying to be like a YouTuber or anything. I know nobody really wants to watch RTS games speedrun, but it's nice to see when people appreciate your speedrunning games. So yeah, and that's basically it. GG to Bloody. Not being any of his times, but I came damn close, and I heard Probe did tell me that he was potentially coming back to Wings of Liberty, so maybe this time won't be second place for too long. Maybe he will beat it. Maybe soon, honestly, because he's a better player, and now he has the new strategies. He might just beat the strategy. He might just beat this run very quickly, and the second place in my thumbnail won't even make sense. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. I guess I'll see you. I'll talk to you in Heart of the Swarm if I get time in that anytime soon. And yeah. Bye.
A base está sendo atacada.
Negativo, tá bloqueado. Negativo, tá bloqueado. Notícias. Diga lá.
Finge que você sabe atirar.
O que tá pegando?
Pronto pra apresentar.
Aprimoramento concluído.
Motores roncando.
Alerta, onda psiônica classe 12 detectada. A rainha das lâminas se aproxima.
Estou cansada de trabalhar através de outros. Chegou a hora de eu dar um toque pessoal ao seu fim.
Ah, você me assustou.
Tanque cheio, pronto pra ir.
Aviso de distúrbio sísmico detectado. Velho Naido se aproximando.
Você vai se arrepender.
Fizemos ela recuar. Continua assim.
Melhor mandar alguns sacos para cadáveres.
Finge que você...
O que tá pegando? Anda logo. Diga lá.
A bola da vez.
Aprimoramento concluído. Energia insuficiente.
Tô lá pra você. Motores roncando.
Pronto pra apresentar.
Aviso de distúrbio sísmico detectado. Verme Naido se aproximando.
Diga lá.
Alto e claro. Recebendo. Chegando.
Trampo grande.
Mayday. Tá tudo certo.
Tanque cheio, pronto pra ir.
Certo. Motores roncando.
A base está sendo atacada. Nossos VCVs estão sendo atacados.
Beleza. Tô lá pra você. Sim.
Pronto pra apresentar.
Senhor, estou captando uma massa de suzeranos indo na sua direção. Prepare suas defesas aéreas.
Motores roncando. Eu tô ligada. Tô lá pra você.
Tanque cheio, pronto pra ir.
Alto e claro.
Aprimoramento concluído. A base está sendo atacada.
Vão valer a pena. Nacional.
A bola da vez. Tá tudo certo. Pronto e acabado.
Onda psiônica classe 12 detectada. A rainha das lâminas voltou.
Eu vou enxotar todos vocês do meu mundo.
Tô lá pra você. Alto e claro. Eu tô ligado.
Aprimoramento concluído.
Chegando.
Aviso de distúrbio sísmico detectado. Verme Naido se aproximando.
A Kerrigan está abaixo da superfície. A hora é essa, tropas.
Jazida de minérios esgotada.
Eu tô ligado.
A base está sendo atacada.
Certo.
A base está sendo atacada.
Você que tá pagando.
Alce. Sim.
Pronto pra apresentar.
Preparando.
Não precisa explodir alguma coisa? Qual é o alvo? Como? Tô indo!
Aviso: distúrbio sísmico detectado. Verme Naido se aproximando.
Tô lá pra você. A bola da vez. Câmbio.
Você vai me dar ordem.
Tanque cheio!
A base está sendo atacada.
Mayday, Mayday. Parando. Tá tudo certo. Certo. Turbinas ao máximo. Sim, senhor.
Energia insuficiente.
Sigam as ordens, galera. Entendido.
A base está sendo atacada.
Modo furtivo ligado. Sem problema. Entendi.
Anda!
Aprimoramento concluído.
Tudo em ordem.
Alto e claro.
Campo grande, hein?
A base está sendo
Pronto pra
atacada.
apresentar! Fala!
Recebendo. Eu tô ligada.
Não tenho paciência pra ficar tanque cheio! Pronto pra ir!
A bola da vez. Sim.
Onda psionica classe 12 detectada. A rainha das lâminas voltou.
Imbecis nunca deveriam ter vindo até aqui.
Chegando. Certo.
Pronto pra apresentar!
Sem problema.
Aviso: distúrbio sísmico detectado. Verme Naido se aproximando.
Ela recuou de novo. Segura!
Pronto e acabado. Tá tudo certo. Entendi. Turbinas ao máximo.
Nossos BCs estão sendo atacados. Energia insuficiente.
Certo.
A base está sendo atacada.
Confirmado. Preparando. Sem problema. Chegando. Sim, senhor. Câmbio.
Diga lá! Com certeza!
Motores roncando.
Vai!
Tô lá pra você.
Tanque cheio! Pronto pra ir!
Recebendo.
Aviso: distúrbio sísmico detectado. Verme Naido se aproximando.
Sim. Tá tudo certo. Armas
A
prontas.
base está sendo atacada.
Turbinas ao máximo. Sem problema. Motores roncando. Certo.
Aprimoramento concluído. A
Chegando.
base está sendo atacada.
Anda logo!
Mayday, Mayday.
Jazida de minérios.
Pronto e acabado. Eu tô ligada.
Não tenho paciência pra... Precisa explodir alguma coisa?
Treinamento concluído.
Heavy metal!
Aviso: distúrbio sísmico detectado. Verme Naido se aproximando.
Tanque cheio, pronto pra ir!
Câmbio. Entendi. Tá tudo certo.
Qual é o alvo?
Mayday, Mayday. Beleza. Confirmado. Turbinas ao máximo. Chegando. Câmbio. Sim, senhor. Recebendo. Sem problema. Preparando.
Energia insuficiente.
Eu tô ligada. Turbinas ao máximo.
Sigam as ordens, galera.
Tô lá pra você.
Pronto pra apresentar! Fala alto!
Motores roncando. Recebendo. Alto e claro.
Onda psionica classe 12 detectada. A rainha das lâminas voltou.
Seus idiotas. Estão brincando com forças que vão além da sua compreensão.
Confirmado. Certo.
Tanque cheio, pronto pra ir!
Entendi. Pronto e acabado.
Ela está fugindo. Vamos manter a pressão.
Tempo grande, hein? Ah, você me assustou.
Alto e claro.
Fala alto!
Recebendo.
Pronto pra apresentar!
Tô lá pra você.
Energia insuficiente. Aviso: distúrbio sísmico detectado. Verme Naido se aproximando.
Certo. Chegando. Sem problema.
Tanque cheio, pronto pra ir!
Beleza. Armas prontas.
Tô precisando de uma ajudinha aqui.
A base está sendo atacada.
Turbinas ao máximo. Entendi. Preparando. Chegando.
Não tenho paciência pra ficar sentado!
A bola da vez. Sim, senhor.
Aviso: distúrbio sísmico detectado. Verme Naido se aproximando.
Sim. Câmbio.
Jazida de minérios especial.
Pronto e acabado.
Aprimoramento concluído.
Turbinas ao máximo. Entendi.
A base está sendo atacada.
Pronto pra apresentar!
Beleza.
Energia insuficiente. Aviso: distúrbio sísmico detectado. Verme Naido se aproximando.
A energia do artefato está quase no pico. Espera só mais um pouco.
Entendi. Sem problema. Câmbio.
Jazida de minérios.
Pode ser um bom momento para usar a nova do artefato.
A
Chegando.
base está sendo atacada.
Mayday, Mayday.
Pronto pra apresentar!
Recebendo.
Qual é o alvo?
Alto e claro. Sem problema. Eu tô lá pra você. Beleza. Tá tudo certo.
Tudo em ordem. Más notícias?
Recebendo.
Bomba psiônica classe 12 detectada. A rainha das lâminas voltou.
Isso já demorou demais. Hora de morrer.
Diz que você sabe atirar!
A bola da vez. Preparando. Certo. Pronto e acabado.
Tanque cheio! Pronto pra ir!
Você vai pagar por essa traição.
Não desista.
Estou ouvindo Sarah.
Ela está pirando.
Sim, senhor.
A base está sendo atacada.